All right, here we go. Here we go. So we have a special guest for you guys today, Lawrence D. Adams, aka LDA. LDA, you want to go ahead and tell the people about yourself and tell them where they can find you, brother?
Sure. Sure. My name is Lawrence D. Adams. You guys can find me on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. Lawrence D. Adams. And I've been doing podcasts since 2007. And it's been a journey. I enjoy talking to men and getting them in the right place so they can walk into their fullness of their manhood. But I also have women come along and I like to stir the pot with them. So this is going to be interesting today. Salute to everybody in the chat room. Good to see everyone.
All right, Bet. Let me go ahead and just plug some people real quick. Unique 79, I see you up in here. Who else we got in here? Renee P. Renee, I think, is from Cleveland as well, LD.
Oh, really?
Yeah, shout out Renee P. Joe Blast was good, fam. Real King was good. So what we're going to talk about today is why women really resent men feeling like they're the catch. Let me just say this. This is not all women. Okay, I want guys to understand, right? This is not all women. And this is not us trying to degrade women or in any way. There's a disconnect, and we got to speak to it, right? So again, let me plug the joint. Why women really resent men feeling like they are the catch. Now, for some of you, you may have heard about the whole Jonathan Owens and Simone Biles situation. To me, it's not really a controversy, but it was made into one. Let me just say this for anybody listening, right? For everybody, men and women, okay, you are allowed to feel that you are a valuable human being. Okay, you are allowed to feel that way. You are allowed to feel like anyone that can have you would be a blessed individual to have you in their life. You're allowed to feel that way. The problem is for whatever reason, when men have standards, when men value themselves, when men love themselves and respect themselves, and they speak publicly on it, there's backlash. So before we get into some videos, I'm gonna show you guys. LDA, you posted something to the internet, to Facebook. Do you want to speak on what prompted you to post what you posted regarding this whole situation?
So what prompted me to post that was I seen the dialogue between people making it about Jonathan Owens and Simone. And I said, wow, this is interesting. People will actually get upset because to a man and a woman who are married, and he said that he was the catch. And how the internet queens, I call them the internet queens and the internet simp queens, wanted to attack this couple because he said he didn't know who she was and that he viewed himself as the catch. So it said, you know what? I said, let me write a post and put this on Facebook and Instagram. And I actually went to Facebook and Instagram. I said, you know what? Let me put this up here. I put it up there, and automatically a certain demographic of women, let me say it, I'm saying it particularly this way, a certain demographic of women got triggered by it. One of them had a long dialogue all Christmas. I don't even know if Santa showed up at her house because she was talking to me on the thread. So it's interesting because we do need to have this conversation about is it wrong that a man is the catch? Is it wrong? We need to talk about it.
All right, cool. And we're going to do just that. So the first clip I'm going to play is just a brief excerpt from an interview that Jonathan Owens, and if y'all are not familiar, some of y'all are, he is a professional football player. He plays for the Green Bay Packers. Right. Period. Right. That's what he does. And let me just say this real quick. And I want both men and women to understand something. Your value as a human being is not in what you do for your job. That's not your value, right? That's just something you do to take care of yourself. Some people make better money than other people. Some people have more prestigious jobs than other people. Some people have more status than other people, right? but that's not what makes you a valuable human being or a valuable man or a woman when it comes to dating somebody. So the fact that Simone is a world-renowned gymnast, shout out to her, and that he's a football player, none of those things mean that those people are automatically wife or husband material just because they have those accomplishments and accolades. I want to point that out. So we're gonna play this brief little interview, and then we're gonna provide some commentary. So let me bring it up. All right, hold on. Okay, hold on. What the heck happened? Okay, all right, let me go back. Okay, let me see. Is it playing? It ain't playing. That means I got the wrong one up. Okay, bear with me just a moment. Let me stop sharing that. Let me share the other joint. Okay, is it this one? Okay, why is it not playing? Okay, hold on real quick. Okay, this is probably why it's not playing. Okay, so let's go back. You gotta bear with me just a moment. Okay, let me go back. Okay. Okay, all right, share that. Okay, I'll wait for LDA to come back. Let me know when you come back, brother.
I'm here. I had to switch the
Okay.
not plugged in, that's all.
Okay, so here we go. So let's go ahead.
Watch this.
Cannot stop talking about Simone Biles' husband's recent podcast interview he did, talking about how they met, and basically say he is a total absolute loser and she married wrong. You decide.
For a couple of days, man, and it's like she pops up and I'm like, let me see who this is. Gymnastics. I ain't never, I never really paid attention to gymnastics. So, and then she messaged me on the app like, hey, you know what I mean? And I'm, man, that's up, man. This got to be fake. Like, she came through down to Houston. She lived in the suburbs, so she had to drive about 45 minutes to me. Then the rest is history, man. So
yeah, so she really booked you.
She did though.
Is what you said?
Because I was fighting it.
So So in truth, if I say this out loud, was Jonathan Owens ain't really want Simone Biles.
I was afraid to commit. I'm like, man, this is my third year. I'm trying to, I'm like, it's kind of early.
Cannot.
Okay, let me say a couple of things. Okay, I want people to pay attention to something. Simone Biles saw him and said, I want that. She came for him. She inboxed him. And something else that he said, she drove 45 minutes to come meet him. Now, let's put our thinking caps on. Would you say she thought he was the catch? She most definitely thought he was a catch. She hit him up first. She was smitten by him. He didn't even have to do anything. She just saw something she liked. She hit him up on the back end, and she drove almost an hour to see this brother. So when he said, what's that again? What's that? Did you say something? Was it?
Yeah, you froze up for a second.
I froze up. Okay. So I just want to say that, number one, when he says he's the catch, okay, this is what I want guys to understand. When he said he was afraid to commit and that he's in his third year of playing in the NFL, he's a good-looking brother, right? Young brother, good-looking brother. You know what I'm saying? Making a little bit of money. I don't know what his contract look like, but when you are a man with options and you can date different women, are you not the catch? The mere fact that you have options and women want to get at you, you know what I'm saying? Not only sexually, but women want to get at you and they want to be with you. You know what I'm saying? Beyond just sex, are you not the catch, right? So I just want to speak to that. LDA, you got something you want to add to it before we continue?
Yeah, I think one of the things that like you said, he didn't want to commit. He was in the process of exploring his options. He's like, why would I give up exploring my options? But she realized that he was the catch, but she did something that was powerful. You know what? One of the powerful things she did, she made an investment with her time and her money. Please, people, I wish people would get that. A lot of women don't like this, But she made sure she took her time. She drove 45 minutes, put gas in her car, and she invested her time on what she wanted. What happens is a lot of people, but I'm gonna say particularly in the context we'll be talking about, a lot of women do not want to make that initial investment because they're waiting for the man to make that investment first. But look at the reward of her 45-minute drive, and her investment of her time reaped her a reward of a husband.
Do y'all hear what the brother just said? Because she was willing to put herself out there. And a lot of times when women make the initial move, it is very vulnerable for women because they typically don't do that. But when a woman is attracted to you enough and she just gotta have you, you will have women that will extend themselves, right? A lot of guys have never actually experienced what it's like for a woman to make the initial investment, as you stated. So she was smitten by this dude, right? So she went after what she wanted. Now, obviously she thought he was the catch. Now, check this out though. Okay, and this is what got lost in translation, LDA. The fact that he was reluctant to commit, but then he met her, dealt with her, and said, you know what, I'm down. I'm down to make this woman my wife. He felt she was the catch as well. And for whatever reason, the women that had an issue with what the brother said, they skipped right over the fact that he was reluctant to commit. He met this woman. Whatever she was offering, whatever value he brought to her was so powerful to him that he said, you know what? I'm good. I'm good on all these other chicks. All these other options that I got, let me go ahead and put them to the side. I choose you, baby. So for whatever reason, women look past that. I'm going to read something real quick before we get into the next video, right? So that was, you know what? Before I do that, let me show the next video. Let me show the next video. Let me just get to the next video. Okay, hold on real quick. All right, so let me stop and let me show the next joint. Okay, hold on. Give me a second, man. Okay, hold on. Real quick. Real quick, for those of you who are watching, if you got a question, put a Q in the chat. If you got a question for LDA, you got a question for myself, or you got a question on what's going on, feel free to put a Q in the chat, and we'll get to the question. Okay, so let me share the screen. Present, share screen. Yeah. Okay, is this the one right here? Yeah, that's the one right there. That's the one right there. Now, before I get into this, that caption, Simone cries over backlash. Simone breaks down and tears up. The husband says he's the catch in the marriage. That's propaganda. She was not upset at what he said. What a lot of people don't know, she was sitting right there. She was in the room with him when he did the interview. She had no problem with what he said. The reason why she's crying or she's upset is because people are talking ill of her husband, right? They're talking shit. Okay, she's probably very emotional and sensitive to the fact that they're dragging her husband and her marriage, right? Now, this is propaganda, right? They're trying to make it seem like he messed up. A lot of women, LDA was calling him immature. How dare he say that? He's wrong for saying that. And my thing is he really? He was asked a question and he gave an honest answer with regard to the question he was asked. See, LDA, I often say that a lot of people, and women in this case specifically, they really don't want honesty.
No.
People say, tell me the truth. Be transparent. And what they really want, LDA, they want a comfortable lie, believable enough to pass as the truth. Because if you tell somebody the truth and it's not to their favor, you're the enemy. You're the enemy. So in this video, we're going to get into it.
Cried over the drama surrounding her husband, saying he's the better catch in their marriage. This happened after a new podcast episode aired where Jonathan shockingly claimed that he had no idea who Simone was when they met.
Let me stop right there. A lot of women called him a liar and said, you know who Simone was. No, women, there are a lot of men who don't watch gymnastics. They don't. And I'm going to tell you something else. And women might not like this, but if a man is watching ESPN or Sports Center and they start talking about female sports, a lot of guys turn that shit off. Okay? I hate to say it.
Facts.
I hate to say it. So it's quite plausible that he has seen a picture of her. He probably seen images of her. He just never knew her name.
Right.
Okay. And I need people to understand that, right? There are people out here who are in sports who are very, very popular, and you get inundated with their images, but you might not know their name until someone says it. That's who Simone Biles. Oh, that's what she looks like. Oh, okay. Or he may have heard the name but couldn't place the face, or he knew the face but didn't know the name. So when he said shockingly claimed he had no idea, let me tell y'all something. The only reason I know who Simone Biles is because I watched the Olympics. If I did not, and I like watching gymnastics, right? When I watch the Olympics, I watch everything. If I didn't watch gymnastics, I like the flipping and tumbling. If I didn't watch it, I wouldn't know who she is either. Right? I wouldn't know. You got something you want to speak to, fam, before we get into this?
Yeah. I'm gonna say this. This is something that I'm glad you're saying something about the sports piece. The thing of it is, women were commenting from their point of view of what they thought he should be thinking. That's the part people are missing. Well, he should have known who she was. They're speaking from their perception of their world and not from his perception as a man and what he sees. See, what happens is in our community, and a lot of times when the dating community, women only think about what they think is important to them, and they never consider what's important to the man. So they automatically sidestep what he thought. He lying. He ain't telling the truth. When the reality of it is, the man didn't know. But because women were trying to get him to see it their way, they missed the whole point. And I'm glad he was honest about it and say, hey, I didn't really know who she was. But everyone, women in this context of this wanted him to know. Because you know why? It would have fed into the narrative that he's lying. That's all it would have did. And it's amazing. Let's go, man. Let's go.
There's a deeper aspect to this, and I want to get into the psychology. Let me plug the joint right quick, and I'm going to read a comment that I put underneath this video in response to somebody else's comment. Why women really resent men feeling like they're the catch. I'm going to read this comment. Mm-hmm. These women went and created a whole narrative that has no validity to it, okay? Jonathan Owens is not intimidated, because they said that, nor is he insecure. They said that too, because of the accomplishments of his wife. The real issue in women, any woman that's watching, I need y'all to listen to this. For any woman watching, put a 1 in the chat when I get done reading this if you know this shit is true, right? The real issue is women want to feel like they matter and are not disposable. When he said he was the catch, that triggered these females. They think their degrees, financial success, or status means something to men, and it doesn't. Their female ego cannot handle their accomplishments being relegated to a marginal position when they're not pedestalized. And that's what they expected him to do. Because she's Simone Biles, they felt like he should pedestalize her and prop her up above him. Like, she's the most important and accomplished person in a relationship. How dare you feel like you're the catch when she is? And that's why these women are mad. And women, again, I'm going to tell you something. For all you women that have accomplished something in your life, whether you got an MBA, bachelor's, doctorate, you made great money, you started a business, congratulations. None of those things make you wife material. None of that. None of those things make you wife material, and I'm going to tell you why. See, the same thing that makes a man look good on paper doesn't apply to you. Okay, let me say that shit again. The same thing that makes a man look good on paper doesn't apply to you. So what's happening, LDA, is women are saying, hey, if I wanted a man to be in a relationship with, I would want him to have accolades, accomplishments, and to be financially successful. So they think by virtue of the fact that they've achieved some level of the same status, that it's the same thing. And what it is, they're trying to compete with men. And what they have to understand is, if you are not a feminine, submissive woman, if you don't show your man deference, humble submission, and respect, you are not wife material. I don't give a damn what your status is. Bro, you got something you want to say before?
Oh my God, you said a mouthful, man. You got to look at the demographic of women who are commenting to who making these posts and making these videos. They have already missed the boat. Let me say that again. They are mad because they missed the boat, and he or she caught someone that was of value, and they're mad about it. And they're saying, why couldn't it be me that got a man like this? So what they do is what you just said is they begin to shame, insult, all kind of things about men and making a general statement. He can never be the catch because you missed the boat when you had an opportunity to catch a catch. And so they're upset about it. I watch it too many times. What I do is I watch who comment. I look at their age and I look at their like I said in my post, check and see if you have one. If you were to look, since we gonna throw the gloves off, if we were gonna look, most of them don't have a husband. They may have a partner who comes by and do some Pilates with them, but that's it. They don't have what Simone has, which is a husband. And most of them do not qualify for a husband at all. They don't. Come on, bro. You know. If you commented on my post that long and commented on what you said that long, that lets me know you don't know how to talk to a man and you do not have a man. You are not qualified to even be in this conversation. That's why I led the last person. I said, you know what? You're right. This conversation doesn't belong to you. You don't qualify for this.
Let me say this, right? Because hold on real quick. I don't know if this is on your side, LDA. I don't know if you know, but for the great 499, I'm not sure if he's on my side of the world or your side, but shout out to that individual for the 499. Let me say this, okay, because I'm scrolling right now. Right here, this young lady, Real Talk with Yanni, says, Simone Biles' man is the prize, but the internet doesn't know who he is. Do y'all see that? You have women who are saying, because no one knows who he is, he can't be the prize. Simone is the prize because people know who she is. So people think that fame and name notoriety automatically makes you the catch. Really now? Really now? Let's ask Jada Pinkett Smith. Let's ask her, is Will Smith the catch? Because he got name notoriety, okay, more so than Simone Biles does, right? People know who Will Smith is, but that doesn't equate to someone valuing you. That doesn't equate to that. That doesn't mean anything because you're famous. That doesn't mean anything. So I'm going to read a couple of comments real quick, and we're going to get back to the video. So right here underneath the video, this young lady says, do you think Simone should divorce her husband over saying this? 25 women said yes. One woman says, Simone Biles is freaking amazing. She's a hell of a catch. She's a gorgeous black queen. The fact that she's attractive means nothing. The fact that you're cute doesn't make you the catch. It does not make you wife material. I hate to tell you, but it doesn't, right? Then she goes on to say, a talented, iconic gymnast. So that's it? She's cute and she's a gifted gymnast and she's automatically the catch because of that? Come on, man, we got to do better.
Let me say this, because you hit trigger something you said to me. Somebody said something about the psychology of this. The psychology that is in the American Western mindset is that women are not just feminists. Feminists want equality in work pay, But we never talk about the psychology, the other part of psychology that's been propagated inside of our communities and inside of the women's mind, that women believe, y'all need to pay attention to this, that women believe that they are superior, they're superior to men in every way and form. So this is triggering them because what they've been fed for years is the princess mindset that I'm the best and I should be treated this way. And they think that they are better than men. So for a man to say, hey, I'm the catch, it goes against their narrative that have been fed since they've been little girls.
I'm glad you said that. And this is true of both, because you have men that say stupid stuff like this. Women are judged by their beauty and a man is judged by his bank account. So if you think about it, okay, you have both men and women that believe this, okay, which is idiocy. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen women say, oh, she's more successful and make more money than him. Okay, so they believe, wait a minute, if she's more successful and make more money than him, then he should be so lucky to have her. Again, they're trying, it's comparing apples and oranges, because the same reasons that a man would be attracted to a woman is not the same reasons that a woman would be attracted to the man. It's not the same, right? And that's the problem. And I've heard women say, like, well, if I make six figures and I got all these different things, then I deserve a man with six figures. And that thinking, that warped way of thinking, that delusional way of thinking is based on them comparing themselves to men, right? And that's not the case, okay? Men don't care. Now, let me just say this. I'm going to speak for myself. I'm not trying to date no broke chick, right? I ain't trying to date no woman that ain't got no ambition. I ain't look, because I've heard guys say they'll marry a woman who work at McDonald's. I won't. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. So I don't buy that. But at the same time, I'm not saying a woman has to be a six-figure earner either, but I'm not dating no chick who live with her parents and she in her 30s, 40s making, you know what I'm saying, $15 an hour. She ain't got nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? So I can't do it. But we got some questions here. I don't want to skip over them. Okay, let me get to the questions real quick. So Unique says, K-Zag and LDA, certain YouTube channels teach false information about women. But do you both think that many guys are starting to wake because of dating channels that they may listen to? You want to answer that first, Phil?
Yeah, I think a lot of men are starting to. I'm going to tell you what I'm glad you said that. I appreciate the question. I think a lot of men are starting to awaken to their value, and they're finally acknowledging what really matters to them. See, we've been sold a good. I'm from the 80s, 70s. I'm from the 80s. So there's a whole narrative that's completely different than what's out now. So there was love songs and you, baby, you my everything and all that kind of stuff. But men are starting to wake up and say, wait a minute, I have an intrinsic value. I know who I am, and she's not part of my program. And so what happens is it's throwing a monkey wrench in a lot of women's dating situations. So yes, there are some channels that are teaching false information. Yes, it always will be. You need those people out there. But I will say, I think a lot of men are waking up to their value of who they are.
That's true. Okay, that's fact. And let me say this, and I've said this before. There are a lot of people that behave like women are inherently evil creatures, and that's not true. That's not true. Here's the reality of it. Okay, if you take both genders, both men and women, okay, there are women who are good women out there, just like there are women out there that aren't so good. Okay, same with dudes. Okay, there are good dudes, solid men out there, right? And then there are guys who are trash. Okay, it is what it is. And like you said, there has to be both to balance things out. There has to be good, there has to be bad, there has to be winners, there has to be losers. There has to be men who are actually good leaders, and then there has to be men that aren't, so women can see the difference. Okay, let me just say this about that. First and foremost, women outnumber men. Okay, that's one. Women outnumber men. So the fact that women outnumber men, that makes a woman who wants to be in a monogamy-oriented, sexually exclusive relationship, that makes it even more difficult. You know what I'm saying? Simply because there's only but so many men to go around. Now, when you start subtracting the men who are criminals locked up, right, who can't really do anything for a woman, right? When you start taking away the men who don't even like women, they do the other thing. I'm judging nobody, I'm just saying. And then you start taking away men that women just aren't really that attracted to. Now, a man who's quote unquote a good catch as a premium is a premium. So this is what I would say to a woman. If you find a man where he checks the boxes, how is he not a good catch considering how hard it was to find him? How is he not a good catch? See, women are in abundance. So if you have a man who has options, okay, women, if you have a man that has options, what's so special about you that he would stop exploring his other options and prioritize you? Any man, women, right? Especially for you women who want to be in monogamy-oriented, sexually exclusive relationships. If you're dealing with a man who other women want, and he stops exploring those options and selects you, how are you not blessed?
Mm-hmm.
How did you not find a man who is indeed the catch? Because he was willing to forsake his other options for you. And that's the problem. And I think where that comes from, LDA, is women feel entitled.
Uh-oh.
Women,
why you say that, man? You're gonna get us in trouble over here. The sisterhood coming.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because I had a back and forth with some women recently because they were saying that they deserve loyalty. And I'm like, no, you don't. Yeah, women, no, you don't. Okay, nobody deserves loyalty. No one deserves sexual exclusivity. You attract what you are. Okay, you attract what you are. So if you're the type of person someone wants to be with like that, they will make that decision of their own volition to say, you know what, baby girl, I found me a winner in you. I don't need nobody else. I just want you. He's not doing that because he feels obligated. He's doing that because he feels you're worthy of that. So if a man thinks you're worthy of his love, his affection, his adoration, and he wants to be sexually exclusive with you, how do you not feel blessed?
Well, now you said something, man. You said something. A lot of women, I'm gonna say it first, this way I'm gonna hit on the other side too. A lot of women do feel entitled because they think what's between their legs is of value. When that is commonplace anywhere in this God green earth. What separates you from every woman, ladies, is your character, who you are, and how you treat that man. If you're treating that man like he ain't nothing but a dog rat and all he should be happy just to get what's between your legs, baby, you come a dime a dozen. But on the same token, we got a lot of men who got a lot of air up their butts who think they should be entitled to a particular type of woman. When you don't have the game, you don't have the character, you don't have the maintenance to hold a woman of great value at all. What you deserve is what you've been eating, hamburgers. You don't deserve to eat the filet mignon because you don't have the game. You don't have the skill set to deal with a woman at that caliber. But you want to say I'm entitled because of man. Just because you have a phallus doesn't mean that you deserve to have the choices of meats. Baby, you need to work for him, baby boy. Or as they say it now, my boy, you need to work for it. You don't, and I'm not talking about work for her. I'm talking about work on your character as a man. I didn't get here just because I look good and I got a great beard and I got this brand new Christmas fedora on. No, I got here because I put in the work. I worked on me. I got mentors. I got mentors from around the country. No, man, you ain't doing it right. You need to change this. You need to adjust this. I kept tweaking myself, get myself corrected. Some of y'all brothers on here talking about you deserve this kind of treatment from a woman. Boy, what you deserve is to get yourself together first. Let me stop, man. I'm sorry.
No. I'm glad you said that because this is a man's channel. Yeah, we might be speaking to women right now because we got to let women know what it is. But we can never forget to let these men know too. Some of y'all ain't no different. There's a lot of guys that have these unrealistic dating expectations. There are guys out here, because I've heard guys say, if I'm dating a woman or I just met a woman, I expect her to prioritize me. And my thing is, why? Why do you think you're so special that this woman you met a week ago, 2 weeks ago, should stop entertaining other suitors just for you? So let's go. So let's go to this. There are guys who think because they make great money, they have status themselves, and they work out, and women tell them they're handsome. There are guys that think they are entitled too. But here's the realistic thing that's going on. Here's reality, should I say. Here's the reality of it. A lot of people look good on paper. Okay, you look good on paper until people meet you and they start interacting with you. And then what they say is, he looked good on paper, girl, but girl, I had a conversation with this dude, he ain't shit. But on paper, girl, he was great. Girl, he tall, dark, and handsome. Girl, check. Right? Girl, he made great money. Girl, he took me to dinner. So he's generous with his resources. Check. But girl, while we was on a date, he got mad at me because I wouldn't go back to his house. He think he entitled to have sex with me because he bought me a quesadilla. Right? So even with that, so there are a lot of guys who think they are entitled too. And let me just say this about entitlement. Nobody's owed anything. Okay, nobody is owed anything. If for both men and women, if you have someone of the opposite sex come into your life and they actually bring value to your life, it's because they saw value in you. And that value that they saw in you should not be something shallow or superficial like your looks, sex, or money, or your accomplishments. None of those things really make you a worthwhile spouse, right? They really don't. So I just want to point that out. I think we got another question, fam. Let me get this right here. So he says, where does this deep hatred of men come from, like the deep psychology of it? Okay, so let me just say this. This is what guys have to understand, and I don't know why guys don't want to acknowledge this. Men, we have done women dirty. I need guys to understand that. We have done women dirty, right? There are guys who ain't shit, who have done some things to women that ain't cool. So there are women who feel some type of way about men, right? So what happens is when an example would be this. LDA, I did a video sometime back and I was talking about the dark side of a provider. And I was talking about men who are providers. They're the provider type. They'll pay all the bills. They don't want their woman to work. But there's something very sinister about how some of them move, right? See, if you don't want your woman to work because you're like, baby, I got you. You know what I'm saying? I want to take care of you. Like, because you genuinely want to do that for your woman, right? For whatever reason. That's one thing. But if you're doing it because what you're trying to do is control her with the money, right? You're trying to control her with the money. And I've literally heard of guys who ration out money to their women based on their woman behaving in such a way. Hey, man, I don't like the way you behaving. Hey, I'm not going to give you no money. So now they try to make the woman codependent on them for money. And that ain't cool. That ain't cool, right? That ain't cool. So what happens is a lot of women, the reason why they don't accept things from men is because they don't want men to try and control them with their money. So when you say a deep hatred of men, that comes from shit like that, where men feel entitled to sex because they spent money, where men try to control women and they mistreat women because they have the money. I have the money, girl. You need me. If you don't act right, you're not going to get nothing. Fem, you got anything you want to say about this question?
Yeah, so where does the deep hatred of men come from, like the deep psychology of it? So a lot of it comes from, you had to look at one thing my sister and I, I'll say this to preface it, me and my sister were having a conversation. She used to teach in the school systems to just boys. And one of the things she would do is she'll tell the boys, whoever you're dating, you need to look at that woman's family. What is the family structure that he comes from or that she comes from? And what happens is when you begin to examine the under the hood of the family structure, you realize that a lot of women were never taught to love a man. They never seen a father who really loved their mother, or a mother who really loved their father. They were also given certain information that to never trust a man, or never be dependent, or never to be dependent on a man, but they never taught how to be independent to a man. So they always have their guards up, because you got to look at the environment that she was bred under. And what happens is, I think a lot of times the hatred that women have is because, like, when we go a little bit deeper, is because they have not fallen in love with the masculine part of them that's inside of them. And what I mean is that they don't trust who they are to trust another man with their heart. So the hatred is so, they seen men do this. They heard their mother stories. They heard their grandmother stories. They've been given stuff through social media. They've been given stuff through movies, the color purple. Anyway, and they've been heard these different things. And so now their hatred for men has had them swimming has them swimming in their doubt for men. Now, what happens is, in order to get that resolved, they need a man. They need to first love themselves, but they also need to learn to start loving a man. So these are deep. It's a psychological thing, but trust me, it starts within a woman, and check her family.
Look, yeah, and I'm glad you said that, because this is what people have to understand. A lot of people that behave in a certain way, they were conditioned. Okay, they were either conditioned because they were told something by someone that they respect, or they just seen things unfold. So they were conditioned to believe things in a certain way. Okay, it doesn't mean that they're right. Okay, look, there is no excuse for bad or disrespectful behavior. But to your point, there is a deeper psychology why people have the ideologies and the philosophies that they do. It doesn't make them right. Okay, because you can diagnose something and say, oh, I can see why this person believes the way that they believe. Okay, I think it's ignorance on their part not to seek out other information beyond what they've been taught, right? Because common sense will tell you that if you just look at what's really going on in the world, that the way men have been conditioned to believe, something ain't right about that. Okay, and you alluded to that earlier about this social conditioning that men should treat women a certain way simply because they're women, for no other reason other than the fact that they're women. So let me plug the joint again. Why women really resent men feeling like they're the catch. I'm gonna hit y'all with something else. Okay, and I talked about this before. In this world, women really have no power. They really don't, right? So a lot of times when women put themselves, this is why women claim, oh, independent boss bitch. This is why they say that, right? Because for a moment, they feel like they have sovereignty and autonomy over their life. They're in control, they're in charge, right? So, and you alluded to this earlier. So for a woman to get with a man and feel like she's relinquishing her power to that man, she's relinquishing her sovereignty, that might make some women feel some type of way. Because they have to give up that independent boss bitch mentality. If you're dealing with a man, and if you're dealing with a male with no backbone, you can keep it, right? You can have that man following you. Here's the thing, okay? The only leverage women really have over males, not men, the only leverage women really have is sex in their vagina. That's women I hate. And I'm not saying that you have no value. But unfortunately, society, goofy males, and even some women themselves have reduced their value to their vagina. You reduced it to that, okay? And I'm gonna say something. There are gonna be some people who disagree with me. This is just my personal perspective. If you are a woman and you're dealing with a guy and you say, I'm celibate or I'm practicing abstinence, and then you basically try and offer every other part of you to him but the sex. And what you're saying is, I'm saving the best for last. That's what you're saying. I'm saving the best. I'll give you every other part of me. I'll give you every other access to me but my vagina. You got to really, really work hard to get that. So you're saying the most valuable part of you is that. Why would I want a woman? I don't want a woman who thinks the most valuable part of her is her vagina. I don't want that, right? Look, women, I get it. In LDA, this is the funny part. Okay, and women, they have a catch-22 going on. Okay,
Right.
and what I mean by that is, in some situations, if they give up the sex too quick, they're looked at as hoes and instantly not girlfriend-wife material. If they make a brother wait too long, they're seen as a tease and guys dip. So now women have that dilemma. What do I do? You know what I'm saying? Do I give it up quick? You know what I'm saying? Do I make them wait? And unfortunately, that's something that will never be resolved. Okay, it is what it is. So back to this whole why women really resent men feeling like they're the catch. So once a woman gets to a certain point in her life where she has degrees, she has a great paying job, or she's a business owner and she's making great money, now in her mind, she thinks she has more to leverage than just sex. Now she thinks, okay, I got more than just my vagina because I got all of this going for me. So when a man says, I'm the catch, what does that do? It takes that leverage away too. Now she can't leverage her vagina. She can't leverage her education or her career success to that man. Because that man, when a man truly values himself, he respects himself, and he has options, none of those things can be used as leverage for that man. So now women are back to square one. I have no power in a situation. I have nothing to leverage. So that angers some women. Okay, and in some cases, that might make women feel very vulnerable and even scared. And with the whole Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens thing, I think that's what's playing out. And a lot of women don't know why they're behaving the way that they're behaving, but that's what it is. They feel like, damn, here we go again as women. We're being marginalized. And that's not what's happening, though. Mm-hmm. They just think it as that. You got it, Phil.
I'm glad you said that because I never thought about that until I always think it from a historical point of view, because that's the feminist whole mindset that they want to be equal pay with men. But now here we say, hey, oh, you want equal pay? This is what you're gonna do? It don't even matter to us. And so now they say, well, God, dog, we tried everything and it ain't working. What you did not fail to do, what you failed to do, women, was this. You didn't compete. You're competing as a man with a man, and you're not competing like a woman for a man. Two complete different things. So if you're competing with your job, you're competing with your degrees, you can compete with your money, you're competing with this. What happened is you're competing like a man. And what do men say? Oh, you want some of this? Either they're going to walk away and say, you know, I don't have to deal with another woman who's dressed up as a man. So what happens is so what women fail to do, you look at the comments, a lot of women fail to compete. Even in my post, they fail to compete as a woman. When you compete, Simone competed as a gymnast. She took her, I'm going to get a man that I want. Think about it. He said, I didn't want to compete. I didn't want to commit to her. That's what he said. I didn't want to commit to her. But because she competed like a woman, guess what happened? She got the prize. What happens is a lot of women don't want to compete in their femininity. I'm here to tell every woman is watching. Every woman is watching. If you're watching this and you're getting upset with this, I dare you to go check if you're competing as a man or as you competed as a woman. A woman will always win at the end of the day. Her being feminine, fit, beautiful, being a woman will always win at the end of the day. Your kitty cat can dry up. Just be very clear. Y'all talking because lady went on my comment and said, well, men got sexual erection things. I wanted to say, well, you know, your kitty cat can dry up too. But I don't have sex 24 hours a day. I got to live with you. And I tolerate living with you. I'm just saying. So y'all gotta compete like women. And what happens is a lot of women, you said this earlier, feel they're entitled, that they don't need to compete as women.
And that, bro, I've heard so many women say things like, oh, if I'm not the only woman he's dealing with, I don't compete. Yes, you do. Look, even now, I don't believe I'm in competition with other men, but if I'm dating a woman, in her mind, I am. Okay, I don't think I'm in competition with any other man, but if I'm dealing with a woman who's dealing with other men outside of me, in her mind, I am in competition with those other men because inevitably she's going to compare and contrast me to those other men, those other options. And if she wanted to be in a relationship, she's going to pick the best one for her, right? Now, here's the thing. You said something very, very, very important. This is what women are typically used to. They're typically used to men trying to convince them that they're good for the women. They're used to that. What Simone Biles did was convince old boy that she was good for him. That's what she did. So what Simone Biles did, she campaigned and she auditioned for the role she wanted. She wanted to be booed up. She wanted to be a wife. And she said, I see a guy that I think I might potentially want to be with. Let me go get my man. And she campaigned and she auditioned for that role. And she got him. Salute to her, right? Because I guarantee you, if any woman had a private conversation with her, she would say, I got me my man, baby. I got me. I don't know about you. All y'all crows cackling on the internet. I got me mine. Go get you yours, right? So, and that's the problem with a lot of women. They don't actually want to campaign and audition for the role that they want. They want it granted to them.
Uh-oh.
Grant me the title of girlfriend. Grant me the title of wife just because I'm cute and I got a vagina.
They don't want that, dude.
I'm just saying. And again, I want to say this because I want men and women to understand this. We understand that not all women think like that. Okay. But there are some women who do, and unfortunately, they're the ones who have the loudest voices on the internet. They're the ones, just like men who speak negatively of women and dog women out and complain about women all day, they have the loudest voices. The most negative people have the loudest voices on the internet, unfortunately, right? And if you think about men who bash women, that red pill nonsense, they have the biggest subscribers. They do. Our channels are small because most men don't want to be held accountable for their behaviors and their actions. And let me just say this. All of this starts with men. Everything begins with the man. And let me just say this about women. If you go to any society, the weaker the men are, the more the women tend to act up.
Well, stop right there. You need a bomb or something going off, man. Something right there. Stop right there, man. Y'all need to let that breathe. You need to let that breathe. Please say that again.
In any society, the weaker the men are, the more the women misbehave. So when guys complain about Western women, what's really going on is the weakest men in the world reside in the Western Hemisphere. Period. Our country, our politicians are weak. Our leaders are weak, right? If you pay attention to the agenda where they're trying to feminize men, emasculate men, the reason why those campaigns are so strong is because our leadership is weak. I guarantee you, if you go to the Middle East, you don't see that. You don't see dudes carrying purses calling them man bags. You don't see that. You don't see dudes. Let me stop.
You keep going, man. Keep you cooking, man. Because I can't wait to jump in this one. Woo!
Go ahead, fam. You got it, fam. I'm gonna say something that's gonna get me. YouTube ain't gonna let me. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this because, and this is, and I know where you guys stand with this. This is the reason why, and I have my passport because I'm gonna say it because I'm gonna jump. I know I felt the fire starting to heat up around this. I have my passport. Men, and I believe in men traveling. So I don't want nobody to misconstrue what I'm about to say. Y'all let me know y'all ready for what I'm about to say. Men are reaping from the benefits of a masculine culture outside of the United States. Men are reaping the rewards of a masculine culture outside of the United States. That's why they travel. Now, when you said if you have a culture that's weak inside of the United States, you said that women tend to act up and to act a fool. You didn't say fool, but I'm ad-libbing right there.
Go ahead.
So what we have done is we have not dealt with the issue, like you said, the feminizing the men, and now you're masculine, making women masculine. And so that's a problem right there. That's a problem right there. That's a problem. The only reason, like you said, we having these issues here in the Western culture, because the foundation of our men are cracked, damaged, and this weak. Ain't no way around it. That's why it's so easy to travel outside the country. These women are just lovely. They do everything. You're reaping the rewards of a masculine culture. You said the Middle East. I dare you. You served time. Salute to you, serving. You served time in the military. You know, you have briefings, right?
Yep.
When you go to different culture, you go to different places. When you go to different places, what happens? They tell you this is how you need to act. Don't do this around them. Don't do that around this, or you're gonna be some consequences. Am I lying or am I lying?
No, it's true. So what you're saying is, hey, the way you act in the U.S., you can't do that here. You can't wild out here. They'll toss you in jail. There was a lady, I think, in Saudi Arabia that got thrown in jail for yelling, screaming in public. Now, some women might think that's archaic and very sexist and misogynist. Hey, but I guarantee you, when you go over there, there aren't women acting a fool in public. They're not, right? Again, and see, you said something that's very true. When these men go abroad and they deal with these women in these foreign countries and all of that, now you're still gonna have women that ain't worth a damn, but the difference is they will at least pretend to be worth a damn. That's the difference, right? That's the difference, right? So what happens is, like you said, these men are a benefactor of the masculine men and that culture. So what happens is, and again, I got my passport too. I like to travel too. Everybody should get their passport and travel. It will open your eyes. You should experience different cultures, right? But here's what's going on, right? Everywhere you go, there you are. So you have men who are American or in Western society who are weak men. They are going abroad and they are dealing with women who don't treat them like they're weak men. But they still think that you are a weak man. Understand that. See, here in America, if you are a weak man, oftentimes women will treat you like a weak man, okay? And the reason why is because they have their own money, so they have no built-in incentive to treat you any other way to you. In foreign countries, it's a little different, right? It's a little different. And let me just say this. Guys got to understand that in a lot of these foreign countries, women don't want to bring shame to their name. They don't want to bring shame to their name. Now, it doesn't mean that they don't have these thoughts like Western women. They typically don't act on it in the same fashion because they don't want to bring shame to their family's name. Now, a lot of you dudes might say, well, that's American women's fault. They got these single mother households. Well, women aren't creating single mother households by themselves. Hey, somebody laid up with her. No condom on. And they decided to shoot up the club. Right, so there's blame that goes all around for why single motherhood is the way that it is, single parent households are the way that it is. There's enough blame to go around, right? So I just want to say, gentlemen, this is what I want to say to y'all, right? At the end of the day, as men, and shout out to Ron Wills, because he says something, and that brother's getting healthier and healthier. For those of you who don't know, he suffered a stroke. Shout out to that brother. We need him in this space. We need our OGs. We need our OGs because a lot of young brothers, they're not ready to take the torch just yet. Okay, no. This is why we're needed. And shout out to ULDA. Shout out to Offie. Shout out to damn, I forgot the homie's name already. Alpha Villains. My bad. My bad. Alpha. and shout out to those brothers you rock with as well. We need these brothers here. Let me say this. Let me say this. Okay. I remember one time, well, a couple of times, Rom says, if we had a critical mass of men, all being men, everything would flip-flop. Everything would, the masculine influence in this society would change everything overnight. If a critical mass of men started behaving, the problem is we don't behave like men. So a feminine man, right, who has no backbone and he stands on nothing and he encounters that craves leadership and direction. He's not getting that from that man. She has no other choice to compensate. And that's where you do get some of these masculine women to lead and take charge. And what's happening is some of these women, unfortunately, are so used to dealing with weak men. When they run into men like us, LDA, they get checked real quick and they get redirected. Now, some women, they love it. They're like, thank God I met a man. I've actually had women tell me, I had a woman tell me, I've been waiting 30 years. She said 30. I've been waiting 30 years for a man to talk to me like you did. For a man to take the lead and be direct like you've been, Carrie. I've waited my entire adult life for that, right? So there are women that crave that. Unfortunately, some women are so used to dealing with dudes who ain't nothing, who ain't men, they just think that that's their default setting to lead a man and to run roughshod over a man and try and dictate terms and conditions to a man. And that's not the way men are going to let things go. Bam. How much time do I got you for? We had an hour.
We good. I'm good. I don't go to work yet.
All right, cool. True Savage with the $2 I put in. Please continue. Yo, if y'all got some questions, real quick, let me take that off.
Let me say something you said. I'm gonna say something to what you just said. I remember I was living in Atlanta, went on a date out in to Starbucks. First time meeting a young lady, cool and everything. First thing she said, yeah, we went to go get I got some tea. She got whatever she wanted. We sit down. She said, listen, the first thing I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna need to check me. I said, am I being punked? I'm on a reality TV show. She said, you're gonna need to check me because sometimes I get a little out of hand. I said, what? You ain't saying nothing but a word. And the first thing I did is had to check her about something. But I'm here to tell you, she was letting it be known up front that I'm not used to dealing with a man who has standards and who ain't taking my BS. See, most men, let me say that because you said something. Most men tolerate so much because they are so desperate for the kitty cat.
Facts.
They'll tolerate anything because she looks cute and she got a curve. But what happens is you suffer because your soul is deteriorating because you're not standing on your business.
More facts, my brother. And here's the thing. Okay, this is what guys got to understand. Once a woman knows that you are controlled by sex and that you can easily be enamored or enthralled by her beauty and her booty, once she knows that you're mainly motivated to give too much of yourself behind how she looks and access to her sexually, she already know you're not too much of a man. Women already know this, whether it's a conscious or a subconscious thing, they already know he ain't shit. I can control this man. And the funny part is they ain't even got to have sex with these men to control them. All they got to do, LDA, is give these guys the leading impression that sex is possible. They ain't even got to actually have sex. Just give the impression that, hey, guy, if you play your cards right, you might be able to get some of this. Guys are like, what do I got to do? Just tell me what I got to do. What I got to do? Do I got to sign away my firstborn? Do I got to give you one of my? Just tell me what I got to do, girl, to get next to you. And you said something about standards. And that's what a lot of guys lack. They don't have standards. Look, women want something to submit to. And this is what a lot of guys don't understand. And for a lot of women that have a problem with the word submission, don't look at the Google definition where it says subservient. When we talk about submission, we're not talking about having a subservient woman that is treated like a domestic pet. That's not what we're talking about. Do y'all know that it takes a strong woman to submit to a man? Hey, women, let me explain to you why you have to be a strong woman to submit to a man. I said earlier that when women are single and they're by themselves, they make their own money, they got their own house, their own car, they can travel whenever they want. They have sovereignty and they have autonomy over their life. So they make all of their decisions, right? They don't have to ask nobody. They don't have to talk to nobody. They don't talk to nobody. They don't have to clear it with nobody. They used to just doing them. For a woman to relinquish that sovereignty and basically say, I'm going to follow your lead, that's a big thing for a woman to do. She has to be a strong woman to trust a man enough to relinquish that sovereignty and say, I'm going to follow you. And I trust and believe in your masculine leadership that you're going to make the best decision for us, not for you, for us, where we both mutually benefit. Because far too many guys, they don't know how to make a decision where both of them benefit. And the woman actually comes out on the winning end of that decision, right? Where she also feels like, I love how he leads me. I love the fact that he has a vision, that he has a purpose. And I'm down to do whatever I got to do to support his vision, to support his purpose. Let me say this, I'm going to pass it back to you. I have this mobile mechanic. Now, I haven't had to use him in quite a while, right? But I got this mobile mechanic where he'll come out, right? And, whatever issue you got, he'll fix right there, right? Now, he has a wife. He's married. When you call his number, he has a business card. When you call that number, he does not answer. His wife does. So his wife will take the make, the model of the car, the year of the car, and you tell her whatever is wrong with it, whatever you think is wrong with it. Okay, then she'll dispatch her husband and he'll show up at your spot, right? The reason why I'm telling that story is she's a very important part. She's an integral part. She's a valuable contributor to his vision and his purpose. Without her, could he still fix on cars and travel? He could. But could he make as much money? No. Because he would spend so much time taking calls that the jobs he could do during the day, he would miss out on. So when you got a woman who is a valuable contributor, a valued contributor, where she is actually an integral part of your vision, and she's there as a helpmate, that woman has to submit. She has to show him deference, humble submission, and respect. Now, let me just say this, because I hear guys say, oh, if a woman divorces you, she'll take half. If her and that man got divorced and she got half, that's a half that she earned. She participated in the business. Could he make money without her? Yes. Could he make as much money without her? Probably not. You got it, fam.
That's interesting. And I know we got questions. That's the dynamic I grew up under. My grandfather, who had, I think, a 5th grade education, if that, had a tree service. He had several businesses before them. Who was the key person? My grandmother, who worked at the law office to make sure the contract was right when he went to do his business in areas that we was not supposed to go into. I watched that growing up. So while my grandfather went out there and prospected what he wanted to do with the business, he had my grandmother or anybody else answer the phone, as he had his own separate line in our house, and people would answer the phone for him. My grandmother, my aunts, everybody, because they know that this is what Papa wanted to do. Because he had, as the movie said, he had vision. Willard, you got to have vision. He had vision. And I watched that growing up. So for me to see anything opposite of that, to me, like, that doesn't make sense. How my grandmother and my grandfather moved, that's what I need to see. So it's interesting that you brought that example up. I actually lived it.
And let me say this, because I talked about how a lot of women, they don't want to feel disposable in a relationship. One thing you can do will not feel disposable, make her an important part of what you do. That's simple. Women want to feel, not only do women want to be desired and feel desired by the man that they want to feel needed. make a woman an important part of what you do. Now, she ain't necessarily got to answer phones for you and that type of thing, but there's other things you can have a woman do where she is an important cog in the wheel, if you will, right? So she won't feel so disposable. So she would feel like he does need me. Okay. Now, if you guys didn't work out, you'll be fine. Yeah, it might be an inconvenience. You know, you might miss her. You might be a little hurt, like, damn, I miss my baby. Cool, nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, women don't want to feel disposable, like you can just drop them like a bad habit. Okay, and I understand that. But this is what I would tell women. Bring value to that man's life then. All you got to do is bring value to that man. Your beauty, your booty, and your vagina is not value, baby girl. It's not value. See, you make yourself disposable when you make it all about your vagina. Like, that's the most important thing you got to offer. Hey, do you know there are billions of other women that got a vagina just like you? Do you know there are women, don't get mad. There are women that got a vagina like you, is wetter than yours and tighter than yours. I'm sorry, I hate to say it. Okay, there are women who are more attractive than you. Okay, younger, right? So never allow your bottom half to be your best half. Right? Don't do that to yourself, women. I implore you, don't do that to yourself. We got another question. Isaiah Parker says, what values does a woman have outside of her vagina? I'm not trolling, seriously asking. Well, that depends on a woman. LDA, you said something very important. You was talking about a woman's upbringing. Do you want to answer this question, Phil?
So what value does a woman outside of her vagina not trying to troll? Seriously. So you got to understand because if I answer this question, y'all can try to pinhole me. So I'm gonna put it this way. You have to determine what is valuable to you outside of her vagina. So if I give you 1, 2, 3 pointers, that's my opinion. Brother gives 1, 2, 3 points. That's his opinion. And so what happens is you're not giving what's valuable to you. So for me, one thing I need is valuable to me is peace. And then 2, I need a woman we can talk. Hey, what about this? I have certain things that I have learned through the course of my life that I know about me that's valuable outside of her vagina or her kitty cat. So I know, but that comes back to you knowing who you are. And a lot of men don't know who they are because they copying cat everybody else that's on the internet. But anyway, but the point is you need to find out what's valuable to you that a woman brings besides her kitty cat. Once you do that, you will then begin to separate. Okay, she's only for kitty cat. This is a value with the kitty cat. That's what will begin to happen. So I have certain things that I value. That's just one of the things I'll say for me at this age, at 52, I value peace, and peace. Don't give me all the other stuff. I don't got time for going up and downstairs and falling out and fussing and drama. I don't got time for that. It takes too much mental labor for me. I can't do it. I don't even have the tolerance for it. Anyway, but I hope that answered the question.
No, you did. And let me say this. I'm like you. I value peace, joy, my personal happiness, tranquility, and I enjoy solitude. So if a woman wants my attention and she wants me to take some of my solitude and share it with her, she got to bring some other than just her vagina, right? So you made a valid point. You said something. It doesn't matter what we believe value is in a woman. What do you believe? It's kind of like this, LDA. When guys say, I'm going to ask a woman what she brings to the table. It doesn't matter what she brings because whatever you think she might bring might be what the other man wanted. Okay. I don't care what the other man wanted from her, right? So I don't got to ask a woman what she brings to the table. I'm going to instruct her what I need at my table. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to tell her the exact placemat, the type of plating, whether or not I need a salad fork. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell her what I need I'm going to tell her what I need at the table. I don't need to question her and ask her, so what did you bring to the, I don't need to ask. That's a goofy question, right? So if a woman is dealing with me, she's going to learn over time, right? Organically, who Carrie is and what I'm about. She's going to find that out. I don't need to tell a woman on a first date, I want this, I expect this. I'm not going to give her a laundry list of all of these different goofy expectations. No, The first thing, all I'm trying to do is see if there's compatibility, to see if her and I mutually and genuinely want to see each other going forward past that initial date. And then we'll take it from there. A third date, a fourth situation, whatever the case may be, whether or not we are actually enjoying each other's company, and then it will go from there. Is it going to be just something fun that we do casually, or is it going to be something where we both have a more meaningful, profound connection with each other down the road? Only time can tell. I don't think that far ahead. I think people should date, have fun, don't take things too seriously, right? And when the opportunity presents itself, you have the discussions that need to be had, right? So that's what I would say to that. And let me just say this, because Isaiah, this is what you have to understand. One guy might say, I want a woman who can cook from scratch and who's going to massage my bunions every now and again. That's all I want. Okay, you have another guy, he does all of the cooking. So he doesn't really care if a woman knows how to cook or not. So what's valuable to you and what you feel like you need from a woman is, like LDA said, it's up to each individual man. Do not, let me tell you, gentlemen, do not allow YouTube or any other social media platform have you believing that whatever this man values need to be something that you value. No, your own personal identity, shout out Miles Cunningham, masculine identity. Your own personal identity and who you are, your beliefs, your philosophies, your principles, your standards, that should tell you what you personally require of a woman. But ask yourself this: are you doing what's necessary and what's required of yourself to get the type of woman that you want? Are you? All right, so we got another question. So he says, how do you know if it's all good in the beginning, but she plans on finessing you later? See, y'all see this attitude, okay, or with that show in the beginning, why are you worried about being played? Okay, you already behind the 8 ball. You are already in a losing position if you're worried about being played. Okay, and let me tell you, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna pass it to you, LDA. The only reason why a man would concern himself with being played is if you are acquiescing to the woman, if you are being a people pleaser, if you are allowing the woman to dictate terms and conditions, and you are doing what she wants, believing you'll get what you want out of it. That's the only time a man would be concerned with being used or played. If you're dealing with women strictly on your terms, you need not concern yourself with this issue. You got it, fam.
How I'm gonna say something. This is from my channel. I'll say this: how could God ever be played?
Oh my Lord! Oh.
How can God ever be played?
And the church said, "Amen."
You can never play. Remember, this is your world, and she's a squirrel in your world trying to get a nut. How can God ever be played? How can God ever be finessed? When you have that mindset, because you said it, when you have that mindset, she's coming into my world, how can she ever play you? And all you got to do is says, get out of the garden and go east or whatever else. You can take her out of your garden. Garden means mine, but I'm gonna leave it right there.
I like what Gail at night said. Don't have that what if attitude. That tells me you're not ready. Yo, shout out to that sister. Shout out to her.
Gail at night. That's the key. That's the lady right there.
Yo, man, look, women. Let me tell y'all something about women. Women are very astute. They have a lot of astute observation and astute awareness. Let me say something. If you go in with this attitude of what if, what that tells women is you're not a self-assured, confident man who has a sense of direction. You have no conviction in yourself. You have no belief in what you can potentially offer to a woman, right? Because you're worried about being played. Here's the thing. If you are actually a man of substance, a man of value, and a woman screws herself out of being blessed by that value, she played herself. She didn't play you, she played herself. And a lot of times, and the reason why you guys think a woman is playing you is because what's really happening is you care way too much about that interaction with that particular woman than you should. Not only that, you care way too much about that particular interaction than that woman does. And a lot of you guys, you deal with women and you falsely assume that there is a genuine interaction between you and that woman simply because she's giving you some time and some attention. and you failed to discern whether or not that interaction you having with that woman is a genuine interaction where that woman is genuinely attracted to you. So if you're dealing with a woman that's not genuinely attracted to you and you fail to ascertain that, whose fault is it?
There right there, I'm glad you said that. That means, have you vetted who shows up in your life that you even for you to even spend time with? If she has did that, she always going to give signs somewhere that she's gonna be on the play, or she be on the finesse. And what happened is men get blind about the booty and the beauty, and they miss to vet that woman correctly. Is she deserving of your time and your space and even your money because you went on a date in the first place? Have you vetted correctly? And I think a lot of men have not been taught it on how to identify a woman who's right for them. They only think about what's right for their lower nature and not for their higher nature.
My brother. See, and that's that. And here's the thing, gentlemen. Let me say this, okay? Okay, we are biologically inclined, both men and women, to desire each other sexually. Nothing wrong with that. But to LDA's point, here is the problem that a lot of guys run into. When you are controlled by that, though, okay, when you are controlled by your bottom half, you're going to make unwise choices, right? Not only that, you're going to falsely believe that the woman that you're dealing with is genuinely interested in you when she really ain't. Real quick, Isaiah Parker with the 10. Thank you for the game, or thank you for game panel. Okay, gentlemen. Number one, let me just say this. Stop having expectations. Stop having expectations. Just because a woman is talking to you on the phone doesn't mean she wants to have sex with you. Just because a woman agrees to come to your house doesn't mean she wants to have sex with you. Just because a woman entertains you and goes out on a date with you, it doesn't mean she wants to have sex with you. And you're not entitled to a woman's body. You're not. I know a lot of guys, you think you are, but you're not, right? So the most prudent thing to do is always be transparent with what it is you want from the woman you're dealing with. Let her know where your head is at. Let her know your true intentions. Don't try and camouflage them. Don't try and hide them. Take off your mask and introduce women to the real you. Here's the funny thing, LDA. There's one thing when you're very direct with women, very transparent about what you want, women have no choice but to respond to that. And a woman's reaction or response to your truth is going to tell you everything you need to know about her intentions. But when you're hiding behind your true intentions and you're trying to be this friendly guy, okay, now the woman can sit there and be like, oh, okay, well, he hasn't put my feet to the fire yet. So I can sit here and just let him be indirect, and I don't really have to reveal how I truly feel about him because he hasn't put me in a position where I have to reveal it, right? And that's the problem. That's why guys end up taking a woman out on 2, 3, 4 dates, and then when they try to bring up sex, the woman says, oh, you know what? I thought I was ready to date, but I'm not really ready for that. I think you're very nice. I think you're very sweet, but you're not for me. And when what happened was you put her feet to the fire too late.
Good. I like that.
And that's what happens. So I think we're good on the questions. LDA, I'm about to go ahead and wrap this up. I got something I got to get into. My brother, you want to plug anything? You want to tell these good people where they can find you at?
Yes, you can find me, Lawrence D. Adams, on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. And I do a show on Wednesday and Fridays live called The Thinking Class. You can come in there and we can talk and have conversation. I'm here to bring some spirituality, and the game combines. You have The Thinking Class. This has been such a great conversation to throw thoughts back and forth and to actually pull back who is the catch is wonderful. Thank you for opening up your platform. Thank you for reaching out to me. Please make sure you guys sub and subscribe to him. Thank you for everybody in the chat room. Appreciate you. Thank you for all the questions. And for those who subbed and everything like that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And we got to do this again.
No doubt. LD, I appreciate you. Salute and shout out to Renee P. Just always doing her thing. Thank you, baby girl. Much love and appreciation to you. You are definitely a valued woman in this space. You're definitely valued. You are the catch, girl. You are the catch. So let me say this, man. All the moderators, thank you. Everyone who donated, thank you. The people who had questions, thank you. Much love. LDA, brother, thank you for coming through. Hey, like the video on both, like the stream on both sides, on LDA side of the world and also over here. Like the stream. It's free. It don't cost you a thing. Matter of fact, you can give a like as a birthday gift. I mean, not a birthday, but a Christmas gift to myself and LDA. Look, a belated Christmas gift. Donate a like. Bow wrap it. Hit us up with it. It helps the algorithm. Real quick, shout out to True Side with the $2 and soon. Yes, we got to do this again. We're out. Enjoy your holidays.